What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over several tips for Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4 that hopefully will help you play better and win more games. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this season. I am very happy with it thus far. I think this is probably the most I've enjoyed the launch of a Fortnite season in quite a while. So the first thing we're going to talk about are going to be radio towers, because I think these are incredibly important if you want to win. I think these give you a bigger advantage than getting the new mythic POIs. So each game there will be 3 radio towers on the map. They're these big metal structures, and you can see where they're going to be when you're in the battle bus. Like if that tower exists in a spot in that given match, then there will be a boss that spawns there about 30 seconds into second zone. So the boss will always spawn there if the radio tower is there, but where the radio towers spawn change up from game to game. But like I said, if you're in a match and you see the radio tower, it's gonna spawn there eventually. These are huge. I would highly recommend, no matter where you land, looking at where the radio tower spawns are across the map as you're in the battle bus, and then kind of planning which one you're gonna rotate to after clearing your initial POI, because these are incredibly influential. They spawn a boss and then 2 henchmen about 30 seconds into second zone, like I said, and when eliminated, this boss will drop a gold twin mag AR, which I think is the best like ranged AR in the game right now. They'll drop slurp juice, they'll drop a mobility item like shockwaves, and then they'll also drop a key card, which when you bring this to the radio tower itself and put it in, you get forecast for the remainder of the game, meaning that you always see where the next storm circle is. Forecast was one of the most overpowered augments in Chapter 4 Season 1, and that was an augment that you had to randomly get and roll for, whereas this is a guaranteed way you can get it every game, while also getting Slurp Juice, which is the best healing item in the game, and then while also getting a gold Twin Mag AR, which is the best AR, and potentially Shockwaves as well. So these radio towers are huge. Like I said, I think this has a larger impact on helping you win the game than just getting one of the mythics from the mythic POIs would. Another thing that can have a huge impact on helping you win the game is going to be the to-go bag augment. This gives you a mobility item when you first take the augment. The items it can currently give you are shockwaves, the crash pads, or slap splash. And then after taking this augment, every container you open will spawn a mobility item. It's random every time, so you could get shockwaves and then open 2 containers and then get like slap splashes and then crash pads. It's not like the initial thing you get when you take the augment is what you're always going to get from containers. It's just random each time, but this is every container you open. So chests, fruit baskets, ice boxes, ammo boxes, anything that you can open on the map, cash registers, literally anything on the map that you can search and open will give you a mobility item when you open it after taking this augment. It is very, very good because it gives you a lot of shockwaves. Shockwaves already have a higher spawn rate this season than last, but this augment makes it to where like anytime you don't have shockwaves, there's an easy way for you to get them, because a lot of players ignore ammo boxes, and they certainly ignore those vegetable baskets. And so, you know, if you have an end game that ends in Slappy Shores and you only have 1 shockwave, it should be relatively easy for you to pick through all of that and get your shockwaves that you need to actually win the game. Very, very good. I would highly recommend getting this augment when you can. And there aren't very many augments in the game right now, so it's relatively easy to re-roll for this and then potentially get it. When you do go to a new mythic POI, if you choose to, when you get into the vault, a lot of people's first thought is to just take the mythic right away. But when you grab the mythic, you put the POI in high alert. So it spawns a bunch of henchmen, the alarms go off. Anybody that's left in the POI is going to know that you're in the vault right now, and they're going to try to rush to you to get, you know, kill you before you leave with the item. And then there's a bunch of henchmen that spawn as well. So I would recommend, you know, looting the rest of the stuff in the vault and then only taking the mythic when you are like absolutely ready to leave the POI, because once you put the POI in high alert, you really don't want to be there anymore. And if you are at the POI, like let's say you're at the POI, you're fighting, and then you hear all the alarms go off, the player that's in the vault is going to have to come, you know, the way they came in to get out. There's not any like porta potties or anything like that at the vault to allow people to escape. So, you know, if the POI does go into high alert, you probably want to get ready to try to stop that person from leaving if you want to steal the mythic from them. But like I said, I saw a decent amount of people like in my stream today when I was looting the vault first and then getting the mythic, saying that they didn't really think of that and that they would just grab the mythic first. So I would recommend not grabbing the mythic until you're ready to leave. And then when the POI is on high alert, I usually just ignore all the henchmen and like the turrets and everything, and I just run out of the POI. The henchmen typically aren't that big of a threat. If you're just sprinting, you just have to worry about other players trying to hold you and all of that chaos. When you are in these new mythic POIs, you want to shoot any of the cameras looking at you. You can break them in like one shot, but these cameras will mark you if you stand in front of it for too long. You know how like when you capture the flag at a POI, it marks all the players that are there. The camera will basically do that, but like everybody in the POI will get a mark on you. So you want to shoot those cameras when you can. I talked about the briefcase turret in a video yesterday, and a lot of people were saying it's good. And like they're losing to it because it's so overpowered. I believe it does 7 damage per shot. So in zero build mode, it would take 7 shots for it to get your overshield to 1 HP. For the most part, if I'm fighting somebody that throws this turret down, I'm just going to ignore the turret and focus the player because the damage the turret does isn't that significant. And when you eliminate the player, it's going to despawn the turret. So I feel like the turret is mostly just a distraction, similar to what we had with people hiring NPCs in the past. A lot of times I would just recommend ignoring the NPC, eliminating the player, and then the NPC will despawn. I feel the same way about the turret. Even if it's actively shooting at you, I really don't think it's a big threat, and just like you focusing on it and being concerned about it is more impactful to your game, I think, than like the turret itself. Another item that I want to talk about is going to be the burst SMG. I think this weapon is really good. I was sleeping on this weapon for the first few hours of playing. Like, a burst SMG is kind of like and then also the fact that it's scoped kind of thinks you would make it inconvenient to use up close, but the hip fire on it is still really good, and it is fully automatic, so it shoots in bursts, but you can just hold the shoot button down and it will keep shooting bursts. It's not like you need to tap fire it for each burst. So when you're in a close range fight hip firing with this weapon, you could just hold the shoot button down. It's going to throw out burst after burst after burst after burst. And I enjoy this weapon a lot. I started to win a lot more once I started using the burst SMG over the combat SMG. It's very solid, very good. And then the scoped aspect of it is nice because it's solid at medium range. You know, if you're fighting somebody and then like they shockwave away, or they use the new rocket ram to escape while you're shooting at them, you just scope in with your SMG, beam them. On island, I found it really easy if I was on the house and other players rifted up or came up the zipline to just fry them out of the sky with this burst SMG. It's very, very good. Snipers are also back in the game, so you need to keep this in mind pretty much at all times. The suppressed sniper is capable of one-hitting, and it does have sniper glint. But yeah, it can one-hit you, you know, just keep that in mind. You know, when you're walking around, try to jump or crouch or whatever randomly, hopefully throw off an unsuspecting snipe shot. Try not to get too tunnel visioned on other players. I definitely have lost games already like this season where I see 2 people fighting long range, mid range, and then I'm kind of being greedy and trying to steal those kills with my twin mag AR. And then while I'm tunnel visioned on that, I end up getting sniped. And it was like a situation where I really didn't need to be that concerned about it anyways. And yeah, I just feel like situations like that are very likely to get you sniped, and you just got to keep in mind that snipers are in the game. And I think running a sniper is very easy this season. Not necessarily easy, but like making it fit into your loadout is somewhat easy, because you could go like shotgun, burst SMG sniper, or like shotgun twin mag AR sniper, and I think both would be fine. Like the twin mag AR is versatile enough to be somewhat of like a AR, you know, or AR SMG like complement to your shotgun. Like the hip fire on it is fine, and then the burst SMG has good hip fire, and then it also has more range than what you would expect out of an SMG because it has that scoped. So if you wanted to run the sniper, I would recommend shotgun burst SMG sniper or shotgun twin mag AR sniper. But just like I said, keep in mind the fact that snipers are in the game. Don't get too kind of careless, and you're probably going to get sniped less. You can get shot while using the rocket ram, and you might be like, yeah, obviously. But like the amount of people I've killed who like try to rocket ram away thinking that they're invincible is wild. I feel like people are used to shockwaves, or they're used to the katana, which has like a very fast trajectory, or the shockwave hammer in the past. All of these items had very fast trajectories, and so, you know, if you were getting shot at by someone and then you got your shockwave off, they might track you, but it's harder to do so. Whereas the rocket ram has much like more gradual arc, and it makes it much easier to follow that player. And then while the person is gliding around in the sky, same thing. It's pretty easy to beam them, so just, keep that in mind if you're playing against a rocket ram, that you can just fry these people. But also, if you're the one using it, don't think of it as just like a free escape all the time, because it's not as free of an escape as like shockwaves. The Nimbus Cloud in the past had a much more like faster acceleration in terms of getting in the air. And then same with the katana and the shockwave hammer. I feel like all those items were much better at getting out of a situation than what the rocket ram is. The Love Ranger NPC in Rumble Ruins sells the Heisted Maven shotgun for 400 gold. And this is probably the best shotgun in the game right now. It's very good. I feel like if you've been playing for Chapter 4, you know how insane the exotic Maven is. But up until this point, it was just a random find. Whereas now it's a guaranteed find. You can go to that NPC and buy it. So you can either land at Rumble Ruins and get it, or rotate through here at some point in the game and purchase this shotgun. Like I said, it's probably the best shotgun in the game right now, with the Havoc pump being vaulted. As far as which shotgun I think is second best, I would say the Sharptooth is probably my second favorite shotgun. So if I don't have the exotic Maven, I would like to run the Sharptooth. I'm probably going to have a video tomorrow, which is like more in-depth comparison of the shotguns. But so far, I would say the Heisted Maven is the best in the game. With the Twin Mag AR, this weapon is really solid, but I've had a decent amount of people telling me the recoil is uncontrollable. I do not experience that. Like, I don't think the recoil of this weapon is really that drastically different than what we had with the MK Alpha last season or the Red Eye. It's mostly vertical. If you pull down on your analog stick or mouse a little bit while shooting, it's typically pretty easy to control. You just kind of have to get the muscle memory down for how much you have to drag down with this weapon. But it doesn't have the highest fire rate. So if you wanted to tap fire this weapon, you're not really losing out on that much fire rate. That was something I recommended a lot with the Red Eye, was just that people tap fire more if they're having a hard time controlling it. With something like the MK Alpha, the fire rate was pretty solid. So if you were going to be like tap firing that, you would be losing a lot of fire rate. But with the Twin Mag AR, you're not really losing that much fire rate by tap firing. So if you are struggling to control it, I would recommend doing that. Also, with this being a twin mag weapon, it reloads fast every other reload. But one change they made is that now when you're on that second reload, you can force a reload. You don't have to waste ammo or anything like that to reload. You can just, if you're on the second mag, hit your reload button again, and then he'll reload. And you want to be on that fast reload as often as possible. If you're not actively in a fight, go ahead and get onto that fast reload, because that makes your life much easier. They also made some changes to the storm circle timing this season. This is going to be the wait time. This doesn't affect how fast the storm travels, but this is going to be that zone before the storm starts moving. I'll have it on screen now. It's mostly that the first zone got more time, and then every other zone after that got less time pretty much. But again, this isn't going to affect how fast storm moves. It's just the time between storm moving and not moving is what was changed. So don't think of this as like they made it harder to outrun the storm. That didn't change at all. There's just less downtime between zones, especially in game, which I think is a really good change. The NPC at the Mega City gas station will drop a white Red Eye and white Thunder Pump when you eliminate them. These weapons are stuck at white rarity, so you're not going to be able to upgrade them at an upgrade bench. But if you hate the current shotguns or the current AR choices, this is one solution for you. I would recommend trying to get used to the new items, though. This happened in Season 2 when the Thunder shotgun was vaulted. A lot of people didn't like the Havoc pump at launch, but there was an NPC in Frenzy that you could eliminate to get the Thunder pump, and some people just chose to do that and use a white Thunder pump over any rarity of Havoc. And it worked for a period of time, and the Thunder was fine. But they ended up patching it, and then the NPC no longer dropped it, and then people just had to use the new weapons anyway. So I feel like this is fun to try out and mess around with, but I really don't think it's that game-changing. If you do want to use these weapons, though, the rarity check augment is still in the game, and this gives you 100 siphon when you eliminate somebody with a white or green weapon. Both of these weapons are stuck at white. So that will work, and it also works when you eliminate animals with these weapons. So if you're someone who, doesn't want to use the new weapons at all, you don't care about having to get used to them in the future, White Red Eye, Thunder Pump, and the Rarity Check Augment could be a pretty good combo for you. And then the final thing I want to talk about is that there are some non-mythic vaults on the island right now, and these are going to be at Slappy Shores, Mega City, and Rumble Ruins. These bosses, it has like a high card style boss, and when you eliminate them, they'll drop a gold combat SMG and a key card. and then you can take the key card to the vault and open it. You don't get anything special here. There's no mythic weapons. There's no slurp juice. There's just several chests and legendary chests, but I wouldn't, like, they're not that big of a deal. But if you are gonna land at these places anyways, you might as well get these vaults. And if you enjoy using the combat SMG, there you go, a guaranteed gold one. But that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of Season 4 thus far.